My name is Abby Prokop, and I work at Rollins College as the Assistant Director of Residential Life and Coordinator of Housing Assignments, and I've been here since June of 2010, and I identify as a lesbian. I am open on Rollins campus about my identity. I don't know if I've been directly put down for my sexual orientation in the workplace. I work in a really supportive office, and I've surrounded myself by supportive people in our division. But what I would say is that people who don't know that I'm gay have made negative comments or have told me that my liberal attitude is ruining Rollins. A parent told me that once. So it's not necessarily a direct comments about my orientation, but it's people who don't know. Because I don't tend to fit a stereotype of being gay, and I think that encourages people to speak more freely about the topic sometimes, but it also encourages them to speak more freely negatively about it. So while it hasn't been direct put downs, I've definitely heard some discriminatory comments about different people's sexual orientation on campus. My previous job was also at a college, and it was a small liberal arts school. So I would say that the experiences were pretty similar. It was loosely religiously affiliated at my undergraduate institution, actually. So I would say that I wasn't as open there because I knew a lot more people, and coming to Florida, I think it's easier to come with a partner. And so when I moved here with Jen, it was easier to talk about my orientation because I could tell people that I moved here with my girlfriend, and that just opened the door to the conversation. Whereas before, it was more, you're not sure how to bring it up, or you're not sure what an appropriate time is. So I think that having a partner allows that to come out a lot more freely. Student affairs is a pretty open field, and so I wasn't really nervous about talking about the fact that I had a partner who would be moving with me on campus. Again, it kind of gave me that in to start talking about my orientation when I applied. So knowing that I was coming to an accepting place and an accepting field, I think it's a lot easier for me to talk about my orientation than maybe somebody who works at a law firm or somewhere where they're not sure about how those people will feel. One of our values in our office is social justice, and so it really points out our commitment to diversity. And so I think it was easier for me to come out here. As far as living on campus with my partner, I'm pretty secure, and I'm older than students, so I think that helps me. I think that I see our undergraduate students as maybe struggling with this a little bit more. People are definitely confused about who my partner is when they talk about her. So whether that's somebody who's coming in from facilities to fix something in the apartment, explaining to them that I have a roommate, but she's not a roommate, she's actually my partner. The terminology can sometimes be a lot more difficult. So one of my colleagues also lives on campus with her husband, and that's a lot easier to describe to people. So campus security knows that that's her husband who lives on campus with her, whereas my definition, they could see her as a roommate or something. So for some people that might make it easier. For me, it just makes it a little bit more complicated to explain who she is. I think living on campus with my partner has been fine. We haven't faced any discrimination on campus, and I think that for us, we appreciate being advocates maybe for those people who aren't as open and aren't as confident in who they are. So letting students know that it's okay to be at Rollins and to have a partner and to identify as LGBT. I think that it's been really empowering for us, and I hope that it's been the same for students. I think it's mixed perception about LGBT issues at Rollins. You have people who are definitely invested in the issues and who are kind of on your team, so fighting for the advocacy pieces. But then you have people who disagree, and I think that college is a place where students can develop and they can figure out what they think about issues. So take out your parents' perspective and take out the family of origin that you came from and really look at what you feel about an issue. And so sometimes I think there are people who are completely against it, and I've come across homophobic students in housing and even articles in the Sanspur. There was one recently that came across as pretty homophobic. But just taking that and knowing that there are still really great people on campus who support you and who are advocates for you. So I really think it's mixed, much like the culture in general. I think that it's mixed, and I don't think that there's one clear side or the other. My advice to a student coming out would be to be yourself and to be firm in that. People will speculate about your orientation and people will speculate about you, and giving them a clear answer is sometimes more helpful than it is detrimental. So people sometimes just want to know. And that's okay, and it's okay if you want to come out, and it's okay if you don't. And I think that it's important to know that there are so many resources on campus and so many allies that you have here at Rollins, and to not be afraid to seek out those allies. And if you come across discrimination, to stand up for yourself and to come and talk to one of those people. There are lists of people who are Safe Zone trained, so you can talk with the Office of Multicultural Affairs about it. But really just being comfortable with yourself and getting to a place where you feel open is so important, and I would encourage anybody to do that. But knowing that people are in different places, so if you are choosing not to come out while you're at Rollins, that's okay too, as long as you're finding your outlets and finding those people who you can surround yourself with for support.